We are making our own story as we go, as we go, as we go. Hoping, we are hoping that we'll go so happy ever after, happy ever after.
Hi, welcome to Your Dream Day podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Peach Lucas, and today we are here to talk about Wendy's Wedding Expo, which is going to be happening the first weekend in January 6th and 7th at the Duke Energy Convention Center in downtown Cincinnati. Tickets, if you purchase them in advance online at wendysweddingexpo.com, they'll be $10. If you purchase them at the door, they'll be $12 each. But it's going to be on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then on Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And today I'm joined by Mardi, who's the producer of the show. We're going to talk a little bit about what you can expect at Wendy's Wedding Expo. Hey, Mardi.
Hello, Kathy. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So what's so great about this show has been around for decades.
This is our 44th year, and we've been consistent, except, of course, for the COVID year, which everybody had to miss. But yes, we have the longest running show. We have the biggest show. I think we have the best vendors. We do a full production runway fashion show that's has the dresses from our store, Wendy's Bridal.
Well, and that's the one thing that if you're tuning into this and you just got engaged over the holidays, this is the show you want to definitely attend because you're one of the few wedding shows that actually has a fashion show still.
Right. We have and it's a runway fashion show. It's high energy, it's music, it's professional models. It's a lot of fun to be at the show.
So with people who are going to, maybe this is their first wedding show and they've never been to one before, what can they expect at Wendy's Wedding Expo?
Well, they can expect to just get a jump start on the wedding planning, especially if you just got engaged at Christmas, your head is swimming, you don't really know where to start. This is the place to start. You can see photographers, venues, just get hundreds of ideas of what your options might be. And you probably already have a picture in your head of what you want that to be, and you can find the vendors that'll help you put all that together.
Well, and planning a wedding is a part-time job. It is. It's like I always say kiddingly, you know, when you got that gift from your fiance, what else did you get? And people will say stuff like, oh, I got the love of my life. Oh, I got, you know, commitment from my best friend. And I'm like, no, you got a part-time job.
Right. And there are ways to make that enjoyable.
Exactly.
And it should be enjoyable. Yes, there's certainly an amount of stress involved. You want it to be just right. But if you find the right vendors to help you achieve your dream, that's going to make everything fall together better. If you can do a lot of that shopping and get a head start on it and gathering those ideas in one stop, face to face with those vendors, you're going to have a much better relationship than finding things on a website, and that's just so much more time consuming.
It is. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is, you know, it goes back to the whole part-time job thing. When you go to a wedding show, you might be there for maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 at the most, depending on how long you stay or if you have a good conversation.
For the fashion show, and
right,
then,
exactly.
And then plenty of times because you want to see every vendor. You want to go up and down the aisle. You may already know, oh, I want this particular place or this style. But if you go up and down every aisle, you'll find things you didn't know you need, and you'll get ideas. And the vendors are so creative, and it's so much fun to see what they've done with their space.
Yeah, definitely. If you go to Wendy's Wedding Expo, bring your camera and take photos of things that you like and start your Pinterest board, because Pinterest boards, I have a love-hate relationship with them, but Pinterest boards are the best way for your wedding vendor team to read what's going on up here and what your ideas are and translate it into something tangible for your actual wedding.
Another important tip is get an email that is just for wedding planning.
Absolutely.
That will also save you a lot of time. So when you're putting your wedding planning hat on, you can go to that email, you can check the offers that you've gotten. There should be discounts from coming to the show that you'll find out at the show. And then when you're at work or relaxing, you don't have to have those popping into your other emails. And then when the wedding is over, you can not check it anymore or wait to check it till you have another event that you want to go back and find a florist or a bakery for.
Well, and that's the thing. When you go to these wedding shows, any wedding expo, They're going to ask for your personal information, such as your name, your fiance's name, your wedding date, venue if you have it, and your email address and your phone number. You will get contacted by these vendors after the show. They're there to help you plan. Some people get a little bit flustered because they see it as just getting spam, but really these vendors are here to help you. And one of the great things about a wedding show is, and going back to what you were saying, Marty, you go up and down the aisle and you talk to every vendor. Talk is the key word here, because when you're researching online on a website, you might get to see their portfolio of work. You would get to learn a little bit about who they are, but you might schedule an appointment with this vendor, drive half an hour there, have an hour-long consultation, realize about 10 minutes into it that this person is not a good fit for you, drive home, and 3 hours later, you're right back where you started. Whereas at a wedding show, you have the opportunity to do that over and over and over again and talk to these wedding professionals, find out what is their personality, what is their style, as well as their pricing and portfolio.
Right.
One thing that I find this as a planner, I get price shopped so much where they just don't know what questions to ask. And the one question they've been programmed to ask is, what is your cost? What is your cost? And the thing is every vendor is a little bit different. So if you're just saying, I want a photo booth, well, company A may offer something different than company B, and you're not comparing apples to apples. It may be a completely different experience. They may have different props. They may have different types of photo booths available. Like it could be a Volkswagen Bug. Like I've seen like a Volkswagen van. I've seen something as simple as a lighted tripod. I mean, you have to get an idea of exactly what their service is.
Right.
And you'll also find that some of the more seasoned vendors will probably charge a little bit more than the people who are just starting out. And in that case, you're paying for their experience. You're paying for their expertise, you're paying for their resources, and all the wedding vendors are there to help you. And
and that's, to me, that's the best part of the wedding show, going to any wedding expo, but ours in particular, is seeing all the vendors and their creativity, and also figuring out how it fits in your budget, because every wedding couple has a budget.
Yes, set a budget and stick to it. There is a wedding vendor for every single budget.
Yes, and then decide what your priorities are. You know, if the dress of your dreams is your most important priority, then you need to set the budget for that, and maybe there's some other places that you can adjust. Or if it's your dream venue or flowers, overwhelming flowers, that there's a place for that in every budget, but there's ways to make it happen, and the professional wedding vendors can help you find the ways to make that happen.
Absolutely. And you actually said a very, very important word there, professional wedding vendors. That is who is going to be at Wendy's Wedding Expo.
Yes.
Are professionals. It's not people that just sell their services on Facebook. They're the real deal.
Right. They've had an experience. We sort of vet our vendors because our name is behind the show. So we want to make sure that we have quality vendors, that they're worth the price of admission, and also that we want everyone to have a good time. I mean, bring your friends, bring your family, bring all the people that are going to help you make this day special and help you plan it, and come planning to have a good time. You're going to have samples. There are beverages there if you choose to do that, but it's a party.
The entourage is my favorite part of watching. Because sometimes I'm one of those people that takes a step back and I just want to observe. And these, especially the brides, they do this, where they'll wear a tiara, they'll have a sash, or they'll have like their whole entourage will have a special T-shirt, like I'm the maid of honor, or I'm the mother of the bride, or and they make a day out of it. It's like a group activity when they go to these wedding shows.
Sure,
And so it's a great way to bond with your wedding party, and it's also keeps, like if you bring your mom along, it keeps her involved in the planning process. And
yes, and the show also allows, the focus of course is planning your big day, but there's all sorts of things that lead up to that. Certainly choosing your dress and the showers and all the other events, the bachelor parties, that the vendors can help you plan that too, and there's options for all of those things.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the other thing that I think is great about wedding shows is just the food.
Samples are great.
The food. The grooms really enjoy the food part of it.
Well, and we see more and more grooms that are part of the wedding planning. Either they've been assigned a task or they're working together. They're very much more interested in this being their day also.
That's very true. I've been seeing that a lot where the grooms are either they're picking a piece of the wedding planning and that's their baby, or they're right up there with you know, if it's a bride and a groom, they're up there together, just asking all the questions, going to every appointment, and they're doing it together. And really, if you think about it, a wedding is the first major life event that you plan together.
Right.
I mean, for some of these couples, maybe they purchased a house already, but when you step into marriage, that's a whole nother.
Right. So it does make sense for both parties to be working together to make this the launching of their family, a new family unit.
Absolutely. So how can people get
Wendy'sWeddingExpo.com, find out everything about the show, the time, the dates, January 6th and 7th, when the fashion shows are, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. You get discount tickets, $10 on our website, Wendy'sWeddingExpo.com, or $12 at the door.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us,
Kathy.
Mardi. Thank you for tuning in. This is part 1 of 2. So be sure to tune in next week to learn about wedding dress trends and what to expect on the runway at Wendy's Wedding Expo on January 6th and 7th. This is Kathy Peach Lucas with your Dream Day. Happy planning.